in terms of both experience and, let's say, how to put it, how much people can, for example, understand or talk about the same thing but in different languages, or accordingly quite understand each other. This question arose from reality. Let's say a random person, whether a marketer, salesperson or anyone else, approaches you excited about an idea. His eyes are shining. What can I offer? And the question was, let's say me or some random guy, it doesn't matter if he's a marketer, a salesperson or someone else, and then someone who might not even be needed by you comes to you, and for example, he really gets excited about an idea and so on, and it's clear that his eyes are shining, and that's okay. But besides that, let's say I'm just some random guy, we don't know each other, not sitting on a yacht chatting, but I found you somehow, and I want to offer you something. So what can I offer?
Ideas. You can offer me ideas because offering your working time and your interest is important, but the main story is what you can bring to the project in terms of generating new hypotheses, generating new directions we can take. Because we are at the very beginning of our journey, 1,000 roads are open to us, and sometimes it can be difficult to choose the right one. And when people come in and say, well, a striking example is with our targeting specialist. The targeting specialist came in and said, how about we use lead forms? The person came in using my budgets without ideas, acting like a beauty salon. Someone said, listen, we shouldn't do it this way. Create a landing page for people to understand and we move into booking.
At 150, yes, in other projects.
When a person came in and said, listen, wait, we shouldn't do it this way, we need to do it like this. And this is how we'll get results. It's a simple solution, I just didn't know how to do it. He said, you need to create a landing page. You need to bring in people who don't understand anything at first so they can grasp what it's all about, and then we can move them into the booking process. Because when a person comes in and can't tell a regatta from cruise, you need to explain it to them somehow. And he came up with a bunch of ideas, not even expecting that I would pay him for them. I realized that the person has really woken up to the interest in our project. He sat down, analyzed everything, and suggested his options for where we should go. And now this person is working with us on the team.
So, if I understand correctly, the two main points are an individual approach. Meaning these are ideas specifically thought out for your project, not just the same idea that's used across all projects. And something like, let's just do this for you. That's the first point. And the second point is the value up front. So when you give something, whether it's in the form of an idea or some kind of usefulness, or maybe even an action that is provided up front, it essentially shows your interest, right? Yes. Can you give a couple of examples from that series? For example, HR came to see you. You don't have any need for an HR right now, but for him to be able to say something like, let me offer you this, and you think, wow, that's interesting. Even though I wasn't even considering hiring an HR, this could actually be useful.
So there's a story that just happened with the product, what's it called? Product owner, product whatever. This is there. Product marketing, product manager. Most likely no. It's specifically a person who is not a UX designer, but who tailors the application itself to the end user. This role involves understanding user needs and ensuring the application meets those needs effectively. I got it.
In short, as you understand, our level of understanding of startups and in principle the positions there.
Basically, this is a girl I don't need right now. Yes. Basically, she works branding, so to speak.
Oh, but yes, conditionally.
Her main task is to create a beautiful picture for the user.
Oh, it's a got it, all clear.
Well, it's about building trust and positive emotions. Well, let's say branding.
And what did she propose?
Listen, she wrote a very interesting letter. She said, I really liked your project. I feel a mix of Moscow glamour and a spirit of piracy in it, if you want. I would work on this and suggest such and such things. And right now, at this moment, we're really focused on branding because the season has already started. We're moving forward. Rebranding in the middle of the season is a bad idea. But I met with her right away and talked.
So she's local then?
She's in Montenegro, yeah. I don't know how much of this is a coincidence. She was probably looking for projects in Montenegro, but the point is that she packaged her skills so beautifully. The combination of Moscow glamour and the spirit of piracy, that she really caught my attention with that story. I went and met with her. We haven't found common ground with her yet, but I'm already thinking about her. You see, the project is growing and new needs always arise. And I keep her in mind because I liked her approach to this story.
Okay, that's the emotional side. So we understood that there's a cold calculation where we think with our brains and decide. That based on these criteria, the person fits. The second one is emotional, but I understand that.
I disagree with you.
Why?
There's this story where she says, well, she managed to evoke emotions in me. That means she will be able to evoke emotions in my clients. You understand, right? It's still part of the cold calculation.
Got it. All right. Although, as marketers say, I'm not my own target audience.
Every marketer, first and foremost, needs to know how to sell themselves.
Yes. The question is already, let's say, moving away from this topic. So you should mention that there was a part of your life where you were already into yachting before you fully immersed yourself in it, changed your life or lifestyle. Since if we look at the history, there was a business failure, companies collapsed, both yours and mine, and how we reoriented ourselves. This is a new world. Well, not new for you, but new for me. But still, when you enter it, it's like a zero state from which you start. What feeds you during your period of becoming. So for someone who, like either due to circumstances or their own decision, decided to enter this world, regardless of whether it's a forced desire or not, how can you combine, so to speak, this lifestyle, or at least the beginning of your journey? And at the same time, what can you do to support yourself, at least for the first little while you get settled and figure out what you're going to do next? What feeds you and sustains you during your period of becoming throughout. So for someone who, for example, due to circumstances or their own decision, decided to enter this world, regardless of whether it's a forced desire or not, how can you combine, so to speak, this lifestyle, or at least the beginning of your journey, and at the same time, what can you do to support yourself, at least for the first little while you get settled and figure out what you're going to do next?
Listen, well, I had a situation where, first of all, I was already a prepared sailor, and secondly, I bought a yacht and came to Greece with...
That's the perfect option.
Yes. And I had a plan. We organized themed tours, we offered honeymoon trips, and we found our clients at wedding fairs. So that's why I had a ready-made business model, so to speak, when I entered this world. But if there's nothing at all, probably you shouldn't rush things. You know, I put on my cap and said, I'm a yacht captain now, let's start booking. It's clear that there's a competitive environment here. There are many captains with more experience who will take the best bookings for themselves. But if you have the time and don't want to cut ties with the past, then of course you should try to combine both. Try to go there 2 or 3 times a year, build your name, gain some recognition, and make connections. Entering the environment. The main thing is, what is the environment? It's about making connections. You approach people. You talk to them, you don't hold back. You say, I'm a captain, I'm a beginner. I look at you, share your experience. Tell me, and when experienced captains share something with you, they invest a part of their knowledge, their soul, whatever it may be, and you inevitably become one of them. They start to keep an eye on your successes. And one way or another, they become your friends. And you enter the environment. There's no other way.